There's a deep fatigue that sets in when every story we tell begins with what broke us. I've outgrown the gospel of survival. I've determined that I'm not here to glorify survival, I'm here to build power. Because your voice is the revolution, your self image is the strategy, and your vision is the altar. And this message is just the beginning. I've outgrown the gospel of survival. I've determined that I'm not here to glorify survival, I'm here to build power. There's a deep fatigue that sets in when every story we tell begins with what broke us. And I refuse to put our pain on display just to be seen as worthy of being heard or validated. And this is not about being in denial of our circumstances and our experiences. This is about evolution. For too long, our stories have been filtered through suffering, and our brilliance has been explained by our proximity to pain. But I didn't come this far to keep talking about what broke me. I came to show what I built from it. Healing was never the finish line. It was the initiation. The real work starts now at this place. There's nothing revolutionary about rehearsing your trauma. The real revolution begins when you reclaim your vision and your voice. There has been an increasing desire within our community to see stories and narratives and art that empowers us and that affirms what we see ourselves as internally, which is divine, which is powerful, which is creative, which is magnetic. And that doesn't start until we begin to create it. And that's why I sit here today, because I have determined within myself to create visual imagery that supports our subconscious and moves us one step closer to the change that we desire and deserve. So what exactly am I centering now? I'm centering truth, creation, embodiment, joy, power, and ownership. As a culture, we've accepted struggle as our native language, but I've decided to speak a new language, one of sovereignty, power, and manifestation. I choose to center the world that we're building, the power that we already carry, and the clarity that comes when we stop narrating our oppression and start designing our freedom. My art has become my battleground, the tool that I use to shift my self-concept. Every time that I feel discouraged or like the journey is too far, I use my art intentionally to remind me of my power, my vision, and the divine spark of energy that lives within me. I remind myself of the ownership that I have within my life to build and create the world that I want to see for myself as well as for my children and all those who come behind me. I've learned that we can use our beauty as a tool of resistance, as a form of remembrance of who we are, who we've been, and who we will continue to be. So when we constantly center struggle, we begin to identify with it. And when identity fuses with oppression, liberation feels like betrayal. But what if the most radical thing a Black woman could do is stop explaining why she's still in a position of struggle and start designing what comes next? Listen, you don't have to keep bleeding to be worthy of being seen and heard. We are visionaries, builders, mothers of multiverses. Struggle may have shaped a portion of our story, but it is not what we are building toward. So let me remind you, you are not here to explain your pain on a loop. You are here to embody the prophecy of your life. I'm inviting you into a new standard of storytelling, where we don't always have to defend our right to elevate and transform, where we normalize pleasure, and where our power doesn't come wrapped in grief. And I'd like you to consider this. What if ease is the evidence that you're finally in alignment? From this point forward in my journey, I'm not negotiating my message to be palatable. I'm not softening my truth or sharpening my trauma just to be heard. I choose to speak from the other side of the threshold, one where we're already whole, one where we're ready to co-create what's next together. My content is evolving, and that'll be my promise to you, that I will continue to adapt and grow with each new level and each new place that we come to along our journey, because this is truly just the beginning, and I want to stay connected to this journey and that my content reflect each space that we are at along the way. I promise you that I will make it my mission to not become stagnant in what I produce so that we can constantly be at the forefront of evolution, transcendence, and the beauty that we deserve in the world. I refuse to allow trauma to be my introduction. I'm leading with power and truth now, and it has been liberating. So if you're tired of leading with struggle and you're ready to build something new from your healing, then you're in the right place. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, lock in, become a part of the movement, as well as download my free PDF, Break the Spell, The First Codes of Liberation, where I break down 6 revelations to help you work through your liberating process. Last but not least, I invite you to take ownership and step into the new world that we are building together as something that we can all be proud of. Because your voice is the revolution, your self-image is the strategy, and your vision is the altar. And this message is just the beginning.